Everyone, you should all have permissions to record. If you don't, please let me know in the chat, and we'll have Coach Pluto here shortly. All right. Hi, Coach Bluter. Can you hear me okay?
I can, Brandy.
Awesome. We'll have you go ahead and start with the opening statement, and then we'll get into questions.
Now, obviously, this game, it was changed from Wednesday to Thursday. I think it's actually a good thing for both teams. Nebraska was on the road both Thursday and Sunday last week, and it really gave us both an extra day to prepare for each other. And, it's kind of a big game for both of us. We know Nebraska is a great team, especially in their home court. They're 7-1 at home. They have wins over Northwestern and Ohio State. And it's just a time for us to try to finally put it all together, and hopefully we will, because I know we're knocking on the door. I really believe that with all my heart, is that we are knocking on the door, and it's going to open one of these days. And I just hope it opens up on Thursday night.
With that, we'll go into questions. If you have a question for Coach Bluter, please raise your hand in the participant window. Coach, your first question is from Jeff Linder.
Yeah, Coach, what was the reason that they moved the game back? Did the Big Ten give a reason?
I don't know 100% what the reason was. I think it might have had something to do with Nebraska men playing at home. And I think since they were in a shutdown, they were trying to create opportunities for them to get more games in. And like I say, it was actually, I think it was a welcome thing for both Nebraska women and our women. So it was actually a better thing for us. But I think, I'm kind of assuming, but I'm not 100% sure that was the reason.
Steve?
What are you seeing that gives you the confidence that your team is close to knocking on that door, opening it up?
Yeah, just because, we've been in every game. With Indiana, they're a great basketball team, and at 8 minutes to go, it's tied. And so, we've been in that situation over and over again. And, there's really kind of two ways you can go. You can kind of give up and say, oh, well, that's the season, or you can just keep working on your fundamentals and stay optimistic and keep pounding on it. And pretty soon it will happen. It's not always on our timeline. It's not always when we want it to happen. Sometimes things take a little bit longer than we want. And that's what is happening right now. But again, I believe in my team. I believe in every individual on our team. We had a great practice Monday. I thought they worked really hard. And so I see all good things happening.
Has this been a good practice team?
It really has for the most part. I think whenever you're a young team, you always have things to learn as far as practice and how to go about that, and even how to handle a scout. There's just a learning curve there. How much do you study your scout? How much do you look at your iPad and watch your film? How much mental preparation can you do at this time of year when, the physical preparation may not be quite as long as what it was back in November or back in October. So I think there's all those things that you can learn, but I think our team has brought great energy to practice, and I'm really proud of the effort they gave us on Monday. It was just really good.
Chloe?
Yeah, you've said a lot that you're always knocking on the door of top 25 teams. How important is it to get this win outside of the top 25?
Yeah, I think it's very important, Chloe. I think that I don't want to put more importance on any one game over another, because ultimately they all count as one in the win column or one in the loss column. But certainly when you're looking at a Nebraska and us and kind of neck and neck in that spot, kind of in the middle of the Big Ten, it is a big game for the selection committee. They're going to be looking at this game, and, if there's only one spot left for the Big Ten, or, they're going to see. And so I think this is an important game. We do get them later on at home, and that's terrific. But getting another nice, convincing road win would be super, just like we had at Minnesota and Illinois.
Jeff?
This has been a program traditionally under you forever that has been so culture dominated, so such a big chemistry program. Where is this team with chemistry? Are you happy with that this year?
I think we still have to have chemistry on the court. I think our chemistry is pretty good off the court. And again, with a shorter season, as far as not having those non-conference games and not having a summer per se, it was a little bit harder to create that on floor chemistry, especially when you had so many new parts. You know, the veteran teams really had an advantage here because they had already created that. But the new teams that had to learn how to play with each other, I think are at a disadvantage, and I think we fall into that category.
Steve?
What do you see from this Nebraska team? Obviously, they've had some nice wins at home. What's their story?
Yeah, they have had some nice wins at home, including wins against Northwestern and Ohio State on their home court. You know, they're coming off 2 losses on the road at Penn State and at Rutgers. But it's a Nebraska team that has been, you know, hit by COVID, hit by injuries, really kind of not had a whole roster of people. And so now they're finally getting that back. And so, you know, Bourne is back. She was out for a long time. She is a tremendous player. Isabel Bourne, that is. But Kate Kane, you know, one of the best centers in the conference and the best shot blocker in Nebraska history, male or female. So she's a 6'5" experienced center. She's been starting since her freshman year. And she's somebody that, you know, we have to be aware of. But I think Sam Hybe's had a great career at Nebraska. She's somebody that surprised me a little bit as the point guard from Minnesota. She had a really nice senior year summer or prior to her senior year. And Nebraska got her right after that. And I think she's had a tremendous career. She's quick. She's got a good offensive mentality. She likes to push the ball in transition, a very nice player. And then they just have some really long distance 3-point shooters that can stretch out your defense, like Brown and Scogan. So that's, you know, they have all the parts, but I think we do too.
Jeff?
Isn't this a team that lost some kids to transfer? I know Verbeek was one of them. Didn't they lose a couple other juniors as well?
Yeah, no, I think Taylor Kissinger left because of injuries, and I think she's still associated with the program in some manner. But Brown was a big loss. Brown transferred to Michigan. She was their first or second leading scorer, I'm not sure. Came off the bench for them, and she transferred. That was a big loss. You know, again, as far as the stat sheet, I don't know about anything else, but as far as the stat sheet, it was. So they did have some transfers and some injuries, and like I say, they were a little slow going to begin with, but they keep getting better, and that's what you want to do this time of year.
Dargan?
Yeah, you mentioned the selection committee earlier, and it's this time of year where everything that happens kind of gets put in the context of March. But I'm wondering, you know, with the NCAA tournament on the women's side just getting finalized so recently, as you kind of approach March, does the chatter feel the same, and does the energy feel the same? And if not, is maybe that a good thing because it kind of keeps the focus off of that, you know, with a few big games left?
Does the chatter mean the same as like an NCAA tournament excitement?
Just as you approach March in this season, does it feel like, you know, does the postseason on the horizon feel the same at this time of year than it does, you know, in a normal year?
I mean, I would say it does. It certainly does for me. You know, again, with a younger team, you know, they don't know what an NCAA tournament is like, right? They don't know. I mean, our sophomores, we were all set to host last year in the NCAA tournament and had that taken away from us. So my freshmen and sophomores don't even know what it's like to compete in an NCAA tournament or in any postseason, atmosphere. So, you know, for them, they don't know. But for me, my staff, the veterans on our team, absolutely. We have all the excitement that we would in any other year to try to not only make the NCAA tournament, but to go far in the NCAA tournament.
Any other questions for Coach? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, actually 2 little questions. I don't even know. Is there even a WNIT this year, or is it NCAA or nothing?
Shoot, I think there is I'm looking at Osman right now. What? Is there a WNIT this year?
I don't think we haven't gotten it.
We don't believe so. As you can tell, I haven't even looked at that. That's not where my goal is. That's not where my vision is.
Yeah. And also anything new about Maryland?
No, have not heard when that game, again, we have a proposed date that I'm not ready to share yet because it's depending on one other team making a move and they haven't committed to that yet.
Thank you.
Chloe?
Yeah, you mentioned freshmen and sophomores don't have any experience in the NCAA tournament. So how important is Monica Sonano to like the starting lineup in terms of veteran experience?
Very important, not only because of her experience, but because what she provides for our team. So yeah, I think that all the veterans, I'm talking about Zion Sanders and Alexis Civilian and Tommy and Logan. I mean, they're all been there. They know what it's like to win a Big Ten tournament. They know what it's like to compete in the NCAA tournament down to the final 8. So yeah, I'm relying on all of their expertise and their experience in the locker room to lead this team.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll have Kate Martin, Monica Sonano, and Caitlin Clark up next, and I believe we'll be joined by Kate Martin first. Hi, Kate.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
If you have questions for Kate Martin, please raise your hand in the participant window. Your first question, Kate, is from Jeff Linder.
Hey, Kate. Coach says this team's really close, really close to being a team that gets over the hump and doing some things. How close do you feel this team is, and what's it going to take to get over that bridge?
Yeah, I mean, as you can tell from most of all of our losses, I mean, they've been within a like 10 to 12 point window, and we're tired of being close to winning. We just want to get over that hump, and I think really what's going to help us get over that hump is just buying into everybody's role and just working our butts off, and maybe not playing to not lose, but playing to win in those fourth quarter situations.
Chloe?
Yeah, I believe this is around a week ago now, but I realized you got hit in the face again against Ohio State near the end of the third quarter, I think it was. Was there anything that happened to your nose again, or is it?
No, right. It's fine. It's a little sensitive, so anytime it gets hit, it's just a little sore, but I was fine. Happy I could knock down those free throws too.
Any further questions for Kate? Great. Thanks, Kate. Appreciate your time.
Yep. Hello.
Hi, Monica. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. If you have questions for Monica, please raise your hand in the participant window. Your first question is from Jet.
Hi, Monica. Kate Kane's one of the best bigs in the Big Ten, and she's obviously known for her height, her shot blocking ability. How big is it for you to win that matchup in this game? And I know you've had success against her in the past.
Yeah, I mean, she is a really good player. She's been good for Nebraska all 4 years. I remember watching Megan match up with her. I don't really think of a game as a one-on-one battle ever, so I don't really consider it like a 1v1 matchup throughout the game. I think that everybody's going to contribute to stopping every single person on their team. So we might have a duck down from a guard that helps stop her. I might have to help on a drive to help one of the guards. Like that's kind of the culture and mentality that we have. So yeah.
Dargan?
Yeah, you're one of the few players obviously on this team that's been through March and been through, high-end basketball at that time of year. And, a month from that, I guess, is when everything kind of starts getting put in the context of the NCAA tournament and everything. Just as that energy kind of creeps up on you and, with this team having not been through that before? How do you feel you can best handle that as, you see all kinds of things about the tournament coming up? How does that work best with a young team?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to kind of handle it, especially right now when it's just like a lot of chatter and nobody really knows anything for sure, is to kind of just like not focus on it really. I mean, like what the coaches tell us about it, obviously focus on and take that in, but there's so much background noise that happens right about now that if you let it can take away from really focusing on finishing out in the Big Ten conference. So I think it's just really important to focus on that. Obviously, I know the coaches are going to tell us if there's something big that comes up about the tournament or something that about March, but that's kind of the mentality that I think it's best to go in with at this time of the year.
Any further questions for Monica? Great. Thanks, Mon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. If you have questions for Caitlin Clark, please raise your hand in the participant window. Caitlin, your first question is from Destiny.
Hi, yeah, just about the bill taking place for student athlete compensation. I know you kind of worked on that with Senator Bolton. What opportunities would the name, image, and likeness bill give you that you don't have as a female college athlete now? And how much does this bill mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got involved a little later than some of the other student athletes, especially here at Iowa. It's kind of led more by Jordan Bohannon. But yeah, I got involved just meeting with him and Senator Bolton, and I think they've done a great job. And I think especially for women athletes, the opportunities that this could create for them in college could be great, especially with how women athletics is supported here in Iowa. I mean, if you would have came to watch Megan Gustafson play, Carver Hawkeye Arena is pretty packed to the top. So I think there would be great opportunities, not only for women's basketball players, but other sports as well, just because they're so supported here in the state. So I don't know how far down the road it is. They're looking at July 1st, just trying to push the NCAA towards that date just because they've kind of put it on the back burner now with COVID and other things they have to focus on. So it's definitely something we're pushing for, and we will continue to push for it.
Jeff?
Yeah, you seem like a extraordinarily competitive person. How much do you kind of take it personally when you guys get beat?
I mean, I'll take the whole blame for that. I don't like losing at all. I want to win every single game. I think we can win every single game. I go into every game thinking we can win. I never, no matter who the opponent is, if we were playing the best team in the country, I would still believe we're going to win that game. That's just how I'm driven. I think that should be any athlete's mentality. So it's definitely tough losing, but I think there's a lot you can learn from it, and you can grow from it as well. And I think we are a young team, but we have the ability to be great. So I think we're right there, and we're about to have that breakthrough win and then do some amazing things after that.
Steve?
Good to great. How close is this team?
I think we're really close. I mean, I think it's a few decisions here and there that can definitely change the outcome of a game, especially on the defensive end. It's one bad quarter on defense. It's not like we played a whole game that was just bad on defense. It's one quarter, and I think that really shows us how a few possessions or 1 7-point run can really swing a game. But I mean, we're learning. We're young, getting bigger, faster, stronger to compete in the Big Ten, I think is a big thing, especially for me going forward. So I think just buckling down on those little areas and attention to the details, I think is super important.
Chloe?
Yeah, you've been able to keep up with mostly the top 25 teams this season. So how important is it to get this win over Nebraska, who is not a top 25 team?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to win. So I think it's super important. I think we're tied in the Big Ten standings right now. Maybe I'm a game off. I'm not sure, but we were tied at one point. Are we still tied? We're one game off. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I think it would put us ahead of them, especially with that head-to-head, and then we'll play them again later in March. So I think this is a really important game for us coming into it. I think they've lost one game on their home court. They've beat 2 ranked teams on their home court as well. So they clearly play very well at home. They're a very good team. They've been playing well. So it'll take everything out of us. This is no gimme for sure. And I think that's every single night in the Big Ten, no matter who you're playing, ranked or not. So we'll definitely have to be prepared, and it's definitely a win we need.
Any other questions for Caitlin? Awesome. Thanks for your time, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Thanks as always for your coverage, guys. We appreciate it. And see you probably tomorrow on the Zoom.